But yeah, that it's not plain sailing as last year was in some respects,
No.
and they're gonna get tested. And
Young
all
Callum Turner played off the bench. He looks like an outside back, and that's where he played. And he grabbed
yeah.
himself a try on his debut, so that's a positive there. I'd never even heard of him
Something we didn't,
until Saturday.
something that didn't come up in the rundown is that Gary Lowe's left the club by mutual consent. Did you read that today?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am aware of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could have put it in last week as well, and I
Oh, okay. Yeah.
neglected to. But yeah,
I'm not sure of the incident. Again, you can speculate on stuff, but I literally know nothing about this. But
it's a police matter, and it's unfortunate for Gary Lowe that he's got himself involved in a police matter. When
okay,
his career was set to kick off, wasn't it?
yeah,
but yeah,
back to rugby league, that kind of leaves them even more strapped across the back, and it's difficult when you got so many key players out and all will roll right over the top of you. That's what it seems like they did.
And Hull were missing key players last week. I know I've got their serious half-back injury problems. They were able to give Joe Westerman a second debut on a big bench. So on a hot day, that big bench maybe was a big factor because they certainly weren't going to get worn down the middle. Which since Liam Watts has rocked up at Cass and Senny Lefeo and Moores have been back in the team, they have been able to get over people in the middle a little bit more than they were earlier on in the season. But Hull made sure that didn't happen in this game. So that's good for them. And to me, it looked like Hull took advantage of every opportunity that they kind of got. There was a lot of tries scored from kicks, which we're seeing all over the place this weekend. High kicks being taken and knocked back and that sort of stuff. So
I saw some refs faulting from Powell in the media.
Of course you did. He don't know the rules, and then he blames the ref, and then he moans about there not being video referees at games. But when there is a video referee, he doesn't bother watching the fucking footage and seeing what actual rules for offside and stuff are. So he can wind his neck in again.
He used to work for my dad. Did Daryl Powell?
Did he? Did he?
Yeah, and so did
question
James
the rules
Child
then as well?
I think I've told. Probably, yeah. No, he left and went to play for Balmain. But yeah, I think James Child works for me dad as well. Said he was a lovely young man. That's all he's got to say about him.
That's the way I'd like to say things about him as well. I think he is.
No, and I mean that sincerely. Dad said he's an absolute gentleman. He's an absolutely just a charming, lovely young man who's got time for everybody.
And emphasising that James Child makes me feel like Daryl Powell probably the same doesn't apply. No, I'm joking. He basically said that there was a try that they could have been given that was ruled out for being in touch, I believe it was. It was young Callum Turner, and it would have got the score back to being 20-18 down, and he believes that if that would have happened, they would have definitely won the game. So, we can't say that, they wouldn't have won the game because Daryl Powell, who is God to some people, said they would have won the game even though they were still behind and clearly didn't score any more points, or didn't score enough points, after that point anyway. And no, didn't score any more points. Yeah, I was right the first time. So yeah, I don't like that sort of comment, really. He did also mention he thinks video refs should be at every game, and on the flip side to that, Joshua's granddad pointed out that he was happy to have no video ref. So, we can't please anyone, let alone everyone in rugby league. Okay, stats. Castleford actually made an extra clean break in this one, 6-5. However, they got in their own way somewhat with 24 more missed tackles, 5 more penalties conceded, and 11 more errors made than their host, but the video ref would have fixed all that. Hull had 209 more metres and took advantage of their extra ball and better field position with a 6-2 try victory. Individually, Burita Ferramo had 2 tries, 1 try assist, 6 tackle busts, 104 metres. Josh Griffin had a try, 2 try assists, 187 metres, 2 clean breaks. Jamie Shaw, a try, 7 tackle busts, 152 metres. Danny Houghton, 52 tackles. For the cast side, there were still some good performances. Jesse Senny Lefeo, 135 metres. Liam Watts, impressively on his return, 45 tackles, 113 metres, no red cards. Ollie Holmes, 42 tackles and 102 metres, and Mike McMeekin, 130 metres. So some hard-working members of that pack.
Absolutely.
Okay, final game of the Super League round was Wakefield 54, Hull KR 18, but apparently the ref was to blame for this one too. 5,331. James Child was the referee, and it might have been this game that they're talking about video refs at every game then. I can't remember. I can't I can't separate one coach's moaning from another coach's moaning
No.
these days, because it was the first half, weren't it, that what's his name, Sheenius had an issue with the referee, a couple of refereeing decisions that didn't go their way, and in the end the match got well away from them. Do the reviews. Tim G Radio, what did he have to say?
Radio had to say, ooh, and 3 piles of shit.
Fair enough. And Wakey White said, a confidence-boosting win for Wakey today. All the headlines will be about Tom Johnson's hat-trick, but credit for this one goes to Miller, Finn, and the 20-minute stint by Fafita, which turned the game back in Wakey's favour. Fun in the sun at Bellevue. Wakefield rained, Hull KR got wet. Oh, I got that. Once I read it out loud, I got what he was on about. When I read that down, not out loud, I thought, what's he on about here? But there you go.
It's a play on words.
So pretty dominant performance by all things considered, particularly the second half. It looks like this was a bit where I'd fallen asleep. I fell asleep during the half-time break when I was listening to this on the radio. So
I'll be honest, I didn't wake up for it. So.
I missed all these tries. It was that run after the half-time break where Grick scored a try, then Ben Jones-Bishop scored one of the most ridiculous tries I've seen. On the footage, on the highlights footage, there was about 4 or 5 different kicks and desperate offloads thrown by Hull KR, and then the ball just ended up on the floor near Jones-Bishop, and he picked it up and went length of the field. Tom Johnston then got his second try, and Scott Griggs got his second try in that run of 20 or so minutes after half-time, and it kind of took the game well away from Hull KR. Jacob Miller just stood out on the highlights to me, so Wakey White pointing that out is spot on, I would suggest. And having Miller and Finn back together kind of maybe had their attack being a bit more organised, and they've missed Fafita big style, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Hard to handle, and one of those players where you're going to put extra defenders on and always create some space outside. And Finn's just an old hand, and he's a steady hand, a solid leader around the park. Nothing flash, but just steady away.
And they've got players needing to prove a point as well. Like
Johnson
in the back line, Johnson in particular. And Finn to an extent, as well as Kyle Wood and Tyler Randall both still wanting to be the main man there at hooker. So there's players with points to prove. Paulie, has had some up and down games as well.
Questions over his commitment to the fitness side of things, maybe.
Well, he's the heaviest bloke in Super League, so worthy questions. Okay, I don't have much more to say on this one because, like I say, I fell asleep. But Tom Johnson's
I
hat-trick
didn't wake up for it, so sorry, I won't interrupt you. I'll leave it to it.
Tom Johnson's hat-trick was a bit of a mix of different skills. There was a long run to support Jake Miller and get over there. That was showing off his pace. Then there was a nice diving finish to finish his hat-trick, and in the middle of that, he'd read a really good, neat kick by Jacob Miller and got on the end of that. So nice to see Tom Johnston back in try-scoring form. Okay, stats. This was the first game of 2018 to have 2 40-20s, both kicked by Tommy Lee, actually, of Hull KR, and it had the most clean breaks with 20, shared out 11-9 in favour of the home side. Wakefield were better at making ground with 444 more metres at 1.7 metres per carry better average gain. To add to that, they made fewer errors, conceded fewer penalties, and missed fewer tackles for a comprehensive win. Basically, they took much more advantage of the breaks they made with the tries they scored. Individually, Ben Jones-Bishop a try assist, 171 metres, 2 clean breaks. Reece Lynn 165 metres, Tyler Randall a try and 101 metres, and Jacob Miller, star man of the show, 4 try assists, 165 metres, 2 clean breaks. For the losing Robins, what I did pick up on the radio in that back after the first half, Adam Quinlan was really influential, and he ended up with a try assist, 7 tackles, 128 metres, 3 clean breaks. Rob Mulhern 122 metres, another strong effort from him, celebrating his new deal. And Liam Salter started on the wing, ended in the centres, 100 metres and 2 clean breaks for him too. Okay. That means the standings, Saints stay top on 24 points, 2 more than chasing Wigan and 4 more than informed Warrington. Hull FC rise to 4th on points difference over Castleford. both have 16 points. Leeds make up the top 6 on 15 points. Wakefield have 12 points. Salford make up the top 8 with 10 points. Huddersfield leap from bottom to 9th as they move on to 7 points. Widnes, Hull KR and Catalan all have 6 points. In terms of the Super Roo predictions, no Dream Team update because the website's been down for a couple of days, so we don't have that. But predictions, I went 4 out of 6, and Sarah went 3 out of 6. Picking the Robins was a downfall there, so that extends my cumulative lead over the co-hosts to 43 to 41. I hope you're excited to get involved in that part of the game today, Rich.
Absolutely.
Buzzing. In terms of the Super Brew, Warrington fan James Hutchinson moves to the top of the leaderboard. Hull fan Michael Hawkins wears the yellow cap. So 2 guys who had good weeks both watching and tipping the game. And we're now going to move on to other results. Other Results is sponsored by Master of Shaves. They are a small family-run business that sells high-quality traditional wet shaving products and specialises in straight razors. Visit their website, masterofshaves.com, and Super League Pod listeners can get 10% off their order by using voucher code SLP at checkout. Okay, so it was round 13 of the Championship, and it started on Saturday. There were a couple of games. Toulouse 36, Featherstone Rovers 10, and Toronto 62, Swinton Lions 14. We had a fan review in on this one, Rich?
Yeah, we did. It's from Genghis Campbell. I was going to put on a Cockney accent, but I think I'll give it a miss. It wasn't particularly keen on Fletcher's Field location. As it is farmland / mansions 40 kilometres north of Downton with questionable parking, but 3Ks for a clinical performance by the Wolfpack and a sublime display by K. And then we've got 100 to 150 Swinton fans were present who impressed everyone with their chanting. Hopefully Dave Argyle will follow protocol and buy the most impressive away supporters to complete the home fan base.
Yeah, Fletcher's Field wasn't ideal, was it? I don't know if you've seen any pictures from this. But
I've not, mate. No.
It's basically like a parkland that's got 6 rugby pitches on it, pretty much, and a clubhouse in the middle. And one stand that looks like an American high school style stand, and that was about it. But they were forced because the pitch just isn't sorted out yet at Lamport. Yeah. And I have heard from Martin Simpson, who's one of our resident Toronto contributors, that there's a local union team that are trying to kind of become sort of a semi-pro kind of level team who booked up the best alternative venue to have their first game of their season, I think, this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I think that kind of got in the way of Toronto being able to play at another better venue. But 3,000 on, and Swinton took the lead early with a penalty, but then Toronto saw to the natural order of things there a bit more. Yep. Okay, on to Sunday's games. Dewsbury 27, Rochdale 32. Actually, Dewsbury were leading and into the last minute, and Rochdale scored a try to win that one very, very late on. And it was London 30, Lee Centurions 40. A few people got in touch on this one.
Yeah, a bit out of a knockout-a-thon there. So Tim Gradio, our good mate and new dad, got in touch, so to speak. A spontaneous mini SLP meetup was a highlight in sun-drenched Perivale this afternoon. My second sports fixture of the day. London had the better possession, particularly in the first half, where they had 4 repeat sets they couldn't score off. Richie Cunningham and Big Bad Sid were the only highlights, as Lee were just too clinical for the Londoners, who kept offering chase to the Lythers.
I think the chances they gave up, basically London went for 2 short kickoffs that Jared Samet didn't get 10 metres on, and that padded out the scoreline to what it was, which is not a good way to end it. Paul Chamberlain said London's early season faults caught up with them a bit, and bit them on the arse. In a tight game, 2 interception tries and 2 tries from short restarts that didn't travel 10 metres, Paul's covered it, contributed heavily to the loss. London's right edge defence was also poor, as it has been all season. Fair play to League for a healthy away support, even if they could wrap up the top 10 in a missing link contest.
And Dr. Hideous got in touch with us. Human sacrifice worked well last week against Dewsbury, so Danny Ward tried it again today. This time his aim was to possess one of the linesmen. Sadly, the sacrificial victim was not pleasing to the gods, so instead of gaining control of the liner and being able to make dodgy offside calls, all Ward